Hey y'all, I'm Elisa, the Scrappy Wife behind ScrappyWife.com, and today I'm going to take you on a little behind the scenes. I have been spring cleaning my whole house. I've been watching The Home Edit like crazy. I've watched it over and over and over. I love shows like that. I love getting organized. I've been cleaning out my whole house, have made 3 separate trips full of a van full of donation items, and then it was time to conquer the craft room. So, my craft room pretty organized to start off with, but there were lots of things that could be destashed and maybe thought of in a different way. So that is what we are doing in part 1 of this video, which is today. I'm going to take you through my destash, show you what I'm getting rid of, kind of show you the process, tell you what I was thinking behind my choices, I guess, on some of them. And so I thought you guys might like a little peek. Part 2 is going to be walking through how I used some new organization items from the Home Edit and from Target to change up my space to make it function a little bit better for me while I'm in this particular space. And these are all great systems that can be transferred when I move craft rooms in the fall. So I hope you enjoy coming on this destash with me. I hope it inspires you to do a little bit of destashing on your own. Let's go. All right, so I started with one of my most difficult categories first, and that is paper pieces or ephemera. And you guys, I literally put hands on every single paper piece that I had in my craft room. And what I'm doing is just making 2 piles, and I'm trying to go really fast, not quite as fast as you see it here, but just making quick decisions as far as, do I see myself using it? Can I quickly imagine a project where this might come in handy? And if it doesn't ring a bell or doesn't kind of spark for me, then I am moving it off to my destash pile. And for me, that was, some of the more cartoony pieces, some of the very specific ones that were maybe seasonal related or beach related or something that I just didn't see myself necessarily using. Perhaps it had a phrase that really didn't hit with me, or there were several pieces that I know have been in there for a really, really long time. And if they've been in there that long and I haven't used them yet, then I'm probably not going to use them. Florals were probably the hardest for me to destash because I use those the most, but look how much nicer this drawer looks. I did go ahead and get new pieces, new cubes for this drawer just to have it all be clear and match. But I love that I can pull these individual trays out when I'm working with a specific set. I have seen what I have, and that's one of the pluses of destashing in the first place, is just familiarizing yourself with what you already have. Next up is this bin. I don't know if it's just me, but I'm someone that keeps boxes. So when I get a good box, a good solid box, a good solid container, I tend to keep them. But the truth is, some of these have been here for 2 years and I've never reused that box. And I can always go and get a box. And this is valuable space. I have a lot of props and things that I use for flat lays, which are the photos I take for YouTube and for Instagram. And so I wanted to move those to a place where I could condense them more. Right now, they were kind of located underneath my desk, like in an area where I could get to them pretty easily, but it was really vital space. And so I wanted to combine some of my photo lays. When I pull down my photo stuff, I usually pull it down for the day. So I have 2 big white bins that I use to hold all of those things. The containment was really important for me. So this was a matter of letting go of things that I was like holding onto that I might use someday, and realizing that really, if I had wanted to use it, I probably would have by now. And if I really, really found myself needing something, then I could always pick it up again. And that's only going to cost a few dollars. And in the end, I think I'm going to get a lot more use out of my items that I can see that I am truly loving and wanting. This is me just putting things back into those 2 big white bins. These are all the different props and things I use for different photo lays. And truthfully, this is pretty full, probably needs to be destashed again, but I was proud of myself for getting it combined all into one bin. The other bin holds different placemats and chargers and things like that that I use to set up my photos as well. So it's all going to be in here, letting go of those boxes and moving on with this space. Next up is the dreaded area over my filming station. I'll be honest, I don't use this area very often. I don't reach for things here just because it's not stuff I use. And that's a big trigger for me because I stand here all day filming. And so it should be things that I use, that I love, and that I can see and utilize. And so let's go through and see what we can find. This is an example of things tend to get worse before they get better. You guys, while I was sitting here, I was thinking this is not a good idea. Everything, I had to take everything out of there just so I could see. Look at all of the blank notebooks I have. I'm going through, picking a ton of them. I'm keeping a lot of what I have, but I'm getting rid of the ones that I'm destashing the ones and donating that I just don't see myself grabbing for very often. I have a lot of different notebook covers that I picked up for various reasons. So some of them are staying, some of them are going. Right now, I'm just putting them back in the containers that they were in. I will start to change out containers, make them a little more accessible in a different video. That particular file holder holds all my printables. I need to use that a little bit more. I have this toolbox that I picked up thrifting, and it is still full of all of my materials from Gratitude Documented from the fall that I never touched. So it's time to file away a lot of that stuff and then clean this out so that I can use it for other projects. I love this particular toolbox, but because I had not taken the time to clean it out, to destash some of these paper pads that were almost completely done, I just wasn't able to use this toolbox for anything else, including for photos or to hold supplies or anything like that. So cleaning out things that you love, it really, really does make a difference. Now I feel like a crazy bag lady. These are all of the little bags that I've kept for various reasons, whether they're pencil bags or tote bags or I don't know, just a lot of random bags, you guys. And so I'm definitely letting go of several that I don't see myself reaching for necessarily very often. Again, just throwing them back where they were, getting rid of things that I cannot foresee that I might use. Here I am trying out a computer cover. Am I going to grab that? No, I like what's on there. So let's toss that. In fact, it wasn't really staying anyway. Some old pictures that I didn't need, several organizational pieces that I no longer use. However, they were taking up a lot of space. I love looking through old photo albums. These are definitely some keepsake albums that I love. So I had to take a moment to flip through. So I had actual organizational items that were taking up space in my craft room, which kind of stunk. So they were like failed organization systems and I didn't need them anymore. Now it's time to clear out some things and look at this cart. So this is collage pieces. Again, it was kind of shoved up under my filming area in the cart that was under my filming area, which you would have thought would be easy to get to, but that cart doesn't actually roll in and out very easily. So I wanted to relocate these collage pieces, this junk journal stuff, so I could use it a little bit more easily. I cannot stress it enough. Only keep the things you can see yourself using. Not just a possibility, I may use this someday, but keep the things that have to do with your crafting at the moment. Sometimes I collect pieces and I never get around to using them, and then that style passes or that feeling passes, and I know I'm not going to use that again, and I can always find other pieces. There's no shortage of craft products out there, and let's all be honest, I'm going to want to have new craft products. That's just what happens. New lines are released, new things, you find new things all the time, and so there's no need to hold on to something just for the possibility that I may use it someday. This was such a good exercise for me to go through and see everything in my craft room, to be reminded of what I had. I was pretty organized from the beginning, and I thought I was doing pretty well, but there was so much I could let go of, and I feel so much lighter in my craft room. I feel like I know what I have. I feel newly inspired by some things that I was holding on to, that I was able to let go, and now I see what is in my stash, and I'm loving it. So take some time, do the destash part before you start buying new systems, before you start buying new containers, before you start reorganizing your whole space. Start with the destash, with the edit part of the process, and you definitely won't regret it. All right, so we are officially at the point in this project where I've got to start putting stuff back up. I know for editing, you're supposed to pull everything out. I'm just literally out of room. So I got to start putting some stuff back on shelves, get a little organized. So you're going to see that in part 2 of this, where I start to get new containers and get things organized and all of that business. So I hope you enjoyed coming with me on this little destash, declutter. It feels like it's more cluttered, but I know I've gotten rid of some stuff, and I know there's going to be some more stuff that goes as I start putting things back and figuring out what I have space for. So that being said, thank you so much for joining me today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit that like button. That would be the thumbs up, and the subscribe button. Shout out to all my patrons. You guys are awesome. I think you're the best. I hope this inspired you to start decluttering your space. And don't forget, it gets worse before it gets better. It will get better, I promise. All right, as always, keep it creative.